Today on All Things 80s, unboxing the original 21 vintage Star Wars figures by Kenner. So welcome back to All Things 80s. Now, those of you that have watched some of my other Star Wars videos will know that I am on a mission to get my collection going again. Having sold all my original Star Wars things a number of years ago, which I regret deeply, I am trying to replace everything. Now, I saw one listing on eBay which was for the first 21, and the pictures on eBay looked to be pretty decent quality. So I jumped at the chance. So these arrived today. So we're going to get these opened and we're going to talk about them and just bring back some great memories. So let's get on with this. So anyway, always be careful with sharp objects. You know, I have a terrible history of cutting myself as I just drag the knife toward myself. But anyway. And one across the top. Okay, we're in. Now, a lot of paper here. This is cool. I didn't know I was getting a vintage, vintage Kenner case. Looks like a cigarette burn, but anyway, I never had one of these cases. I had the Darth Vader case, which was a mail away. And, okay, I guess there's more packaging in here. Yep. Aha! So, okay, let me just make sure there are 21 in here. Wow, yep. We're good. So, the order in which these have been placed looks to be correct almost. In fact, I don't know the specific order they were released, but I do know that these are the last 9. So anyway, do they have weapons? Yeah, cool. Where do we start? Hammerhead. This is a figure I did not have. I just thought it was ugly and kind of stupid. But it does have the Stormtrooper blaster, which I believe is original. And yeah, okay, it's actually very nice condition. Happy with that. Very good. Hammerhead, Greedo, and looks to be perfect. And this one, yeah, very good. Oops. Nice. I'm going to stand these up. Now, Death Star, okay, didn't have Hammerhead. Of course, I did have Greedo. I did have the Death Star droid, but the Death Star droid I had, even back in the 80s, was second-hand. I think someone in the playground gave it to me, and it was pretty beaten up. And this one is far from mint, but the black paint does seem to be in place, and the legs are quite stiff, which I do know the droids are susceptible to loose limbs, but this one's nice stiff limbs. Maybe it just needs cleaned, but it's all right. Of course, Boba Fett, still holding his weapon, which yeah, this is a bit of some of the green paint from his body armor has splashed onto his belt, but aside from that, that's wonderful condition. Yep, almost as good as the one I had and foolishly sold. Luke, an X-Wing pilot. Let's see. Yeah, the insignia's still there. Everything's quite white that should be white. Yeah, that's nice. And yeah, this was a great figure. It had a lot of uses. You know, you had the snow speeder, the X-Wing. Now these 4 I did not have. R5D4. a little bit yellowed, and nice click to the head. The decal is quite yellow, but that's to be expected. Could maybe try cleaning this. Just got to be careful cleaning these, especially the ones that have the stickers, but there's ways around that. And the silver is pretty good. Yeah, for some reason I never had this figure. I guess when it came to spending my pocket money, I was always about getting the most bang from my buck. And, you know, small figures like this were not high on my list of priorities. Obviously, I had R2-D2, obviously. But this one was never one I had. Likewise, Snaggletooth I never had, simply because I didn't see it as being good value, with it being so small. And this one is good. Yeah. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. Like I said, if you're a kid with limited resources and you can get, this much figure for the same price as this much figure, what are you going to do? This one, especially Boba Fett, he's tall, he's got quite an impressive backpack with, a non-firing rocket, but in terms of kids and their money, they'd much rather spend the money on this than this. Ponda Baba, Walrus Man. Never had this either. I guess it was just like a goofy looking figure. Like most kids back then, I was fixated on Luke Skywalker, Han Solo. So those were always the ones I would go for first. This one, condition's not bad. Pretty good. Power Droid, absolutely had no interest whatsoever in this figure. Yeah, legs are clicky. This one's good. It's alright condition. But again, never appealed to me. And now on to the good ones. The first 12. Now we have, Chewbacca. This is the one where the limbs are different colour to the body and head, which is weird. The one I had, absolutely all the same colour, and original bowcaster, a little bit bent, but that's okay. Condition is fine apart from the discoloration on the limbs. Yeah, in terms of me trying to recreate what I once had, this figure will not cut it, because I do not like the fact it has different coloured limbs. So this will not be one that I keep, should I decide to keep these. R2-D2. Little bit yellow, or is it dirty? I don't know. Decals slightly coming off. Some of the chrome is worn off. Still clicks. As with Chewbacca, if I do decide to base my collection on these, this would be one that I would not keep. So, what else? C-3PO. Let's see, wow, this one's shiny. And this, yep, definitely the first 12, not removable limbed. And, yeah, the head is loose, but the arms are stiff, and the legs are stiff. Wow, excellent. I don't think these whoever had these did not play with them in any sort of aggressive manner, because they're in remarkable condition. This is a keeper. Han Solo. Small head. I had the large head Han Solo. I've never actually held a small head Han Solo before, so that's interesting. Yeah, he was a pea head. I guess they made the right decision to replace him with the sort of, what was it, the Oasis, the Noel Gallagher Han Solo head. Yeah, that's pretty good. Luke Skywalker now. Hi. Damn, when I think about what I paid for that one Luke Skywalker, and I got this for what? I got the whole 21 for about 3.5 times what I paid for that one figure, and this figure is actually nicer. That's annoying, but the lightsaber is good. Yep. Very stiff. Fantastic example. Pristine. Wow. Okay, so now I've got 2 of these, so decisions to make, but this is a nice example. Excellent. Princess Leia, a figure I never had, as most boys didn't have. You know, when you were making your decision as to what figure to buy, you couldn't be paid to buy a girl figure because you were so scared of being teased by the other boys and get accused of playing with dolls. Yeah, it's a pretty nice example actually. Pretty white, and the little blaster, tiny little thing. I've never actually seen one of these in real life before. Man, that's small. Yeah, not a figure that ever interested me in any way, shape or form. But now that I have it, it's nice. What else? Okay, from this batch, there are a few I didn't have. I never had this one, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And the reason for that was, I just felt it looked like an old man who was wearing brown flares. And I thought it looked kind of silly. But the lightsaber, the tip's a bit wavy, but that's okay. Condition is fine. This is, of course, the grey hair version. Yeah, even as I look at it today, I still just see a figure of an old man wearing brown flares, and I can understand why I never had this growing up. Stormtrooper. Now, this one is very white. Oh yeah, very happy with this, and very stiff. Excellent condition. Okay, the blaster's not staying put too well. This hand or this hand? No, this hand. Okay. Yep. It was always my intention as a child to get more than one of these, and I remember why I can confirm that as a fact, because when I got the Darth Vader carry case and it came with the labels, me being a child back then wasn't, using logic, and instead of putting on a label as I got a figure, I in my, childlike mind thought, I'm going to put the stickers of all the figures I want to get eventually. So I remember labeling 2 Stormtroopers and 2 Hoth Stormtroopers, even though I only had one of each. And of course, I never got round to getting the additional Stormtroopers, partly because when you had enough pocket money to buy a new figure, were you going to buy one you already had, or were you going to buy one that you didn't have? And of course you're going to buy one you didn't have. So as a result, my Darth Vader case had a lot of labels for figures that I just didn't have. Speaking of figures I didn't have, Death Squad Commander. I really don't know why I didn't have this. It's a nice figure. And this one, it looks like the torso's a little bit green. Maybe that can be cleaned, I don't know. But there's no paint wear on the helmet, which is nice, because having looked at a lot of these on eBay, there's a lot of paint wear on the front and the back of the helmet, but this one is good. Has the silver emblems on his gloves. Very nice, very nice. Actually, this one I always remember looking at the pictures of him, thinking he had a face that looked just like Action Man. Yeah, it still does. Good figure. Tuscan Raider had this one. In fact, my memory is so clear on this one. I actually got this one as a reward for being a good boy at the dentist one day. Wow, that must have been what? 1980 or 81. Yep, from my little village in Scotland, it was the R.S. McCall newsagents. They had Star Wars figures, and this was my reward for for not crying at the dentist. Yeah, it's a good figure. Again, condition is condition is fantastic. Darth Vader. Yep. This was either my first or my second ever Star Wars figure. I'm inclined to say it was my first, but if it wasn't this, it was definitely the Hoth Stormtrooper. Now this one, the tip is a bit bent, but that's okay. Paint on the control panel is good. Yep, cape is nice. Yep, very good. And lastly, a figure that I never had. And again, it goes back to the whole thing where I wanted value for money, and I just did not see the value in a figure this small. Despite the fact it did come with a cloth cape. I don't know which hand to use. Or maybe it needs both hands, huh? Okay. Anyway, there we go. Jawa. Yeah, it's nice to... First time I've held one of these. Well, that's not true. I'm sure I played with one that belonged to someone else, but okay, first time I've ever owned one of these. And again, the brown flares. But that wasn't the reason that put me off. It was just the sheer size of it. I'm like, if I've got, you know, £1, what was it, like £1.25, £1.50 a figure, I'm not going to spend it on something so small. But it's a nice figure, actually. Very well done. So there we have it. We have the first 21 in my collection. Well, actually, a few of these I've now got duplicates of, because I did another unboxing, I think it was last week. But I'm kicking myself for the price I paid for that one Luke Skywalker, given that this one is far, far nicer. But anyway, okay, I can sell that one and get something else. And like I said, from this pack, the two that I'm not happy with are, well, okay, four. Okay, four that are not perfect. R2-D2, R5-B4, Chewbacca because of the different coloured limbs, and there was one other, oh yeah, Death Squad Commander. His torso is a little bit discoloured. But aside from that, these are all perfectly displayable in terms of having a complete collection in excellent condition. So I'm very happy with that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that. Maybe it was as much of a thrill to you as it was to me, but like I said, this is wonderful just to get back into this and just relive the memories of the figures I had, and also get to sort of experience the figures I never had. So yeah, thanks for watching, and please like, please subscribe, and see you next video.